I reach for you beyond my grasp. Your silver light lights up my mask, and moonbeams infill my heart. I feel we're growing less apart. Before I stop, I have to start. The only thing I ask, how can I build cosmic bridges beyond these lakes and jagged ridges, where starburst reign supreme, keep lighting up my dreams. Sweet child, if only you knew why I have the margin of the sky, you'd see the master's plan. Celestial gardener calls me home. Each day when in the sun you roam, there's one thing that I ask, that you keep building cosmic bridges where stardust reigns supreme, keep lighting up my dreams. How can I build cosmic bridges beyond these lakes and jagged ridges, where starburst reigns supreme, keep lighting up my dreams. Sweet child, if only you knew why I have the margin of the sky, you'd see the master's plan, keep lighting up my dreams. Sweet child, if only you knew why I have the margin of the sky, you'd see the master's plan. Celestial gardener calls me home. Each day when in the sun you roam, there's one thing that I ask, that you keep building cosmic bridges where stardust reigns supreme, keep lighting up my dreams. That you keep building cosmic bridges where stardust reigns supreme, keep lighting up my dreams.
All right. Welcome. I don't know where that came from. Welcome to day 19 of the How Can I Keep From Singing Challenge. This is day 19 out of 30. This is like beyond the downhill spike. We're traipsing down that hill, and we're almost 2/3 of the way through this challenge. And I feel good. How are you doing, Mrs. Pixel?
Really good. Really good. Just super happy yesterday. I feel like we reached a summit and, we're going to keep going with this and I'm just excited.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Sorry, just got a phone call. But isn't that the exciting thing about live streaming is you don't know what's gonna come up. And yesterday, that was if in case you missed yesterday, don't worry. They're all on like every platform. And you can catch the 2-hour episode that you think might be a series finale, but no, it was day 18. And we did really kind of turn a corner, which is really exciting. We're going to review a little bit of what we did with that today. And just for those of you who are newcomers or maybe just catching this as we gain momentum down the hill, we are doing a 30-day challenge where we're bringing our full self into singing. And we are focusing right now on Laban movement analysis, and that's more the emotional side of singing, the storytelling side, where we align our actions with our objectives, and we're really looking at effort. I say effort because it's a very specific Laban definition. The first 2 weeks we did Bartinia Fundamentals of Human Movement, where we went from our amoeba self all the way to our very complex cross-lateral and contralateral human selves, where we're making movements that are crossing the midline. And so why are we doing this? Well, low stakes practice. Just the practice makes progress is what I think our end game t-shirt should say. And hopefully you guys are making some progress. It's been great hearing in DMs and in posts and everything about how the work that we're doing is changing you in good ways. And maybe they're not profound ways yet, but I think we're getting there. So, introductions. My name is Dan Roeder. I am a composer, performer, and educator, and I'm also Chief Academic Officer for the David Z Foundation. But this challenge is a very personal challenge because I wanted to just make a declaration and show up consistently for 30 days on one thing, and make progress. So I'm in the challenge as well. Mrs. Pixel, I would love to hear a little bit about you and your experience so far, and the pairs, because we have this lovely pair community.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I am from the Pair meme coin on Solana. We do have a website, paircoin.xyz, and we do have this wonderful track, Trials of a Pair. You can download here through this QR code for 69 cents on all major music platforms. So check us out, please. But yes, I have started this challenge and I've been a part of the live stream since the second live stream.
Day two.
Uh, yep. And it's been a game changer for me. I'm not coming from any type of serious musical background other than I like to sing in the shower. And recently started this wonderful spaces show called Karaoke every Sunday where people can bring parody and karaoke. It's been a hoot. It's been a lot of fun. We're having really good success with that. We do give away prizes for best and worst performances. And you can check that out every Sunday at 5 Central Standard Time.
Check that out.
And of course, I am just beyond thrilled that I've made it this far in this challenge and just keeping this pace at 6:30, getting up in the morning, sometimes a little bit later start, but for the most part, it like challenging yourself to sing that early or to get in that headspace
Mhm.
and sing, well, that's been life-changing on its own.
Yeah. Let's get up at 6:30 and then go right into singing. I did have to do that in I think it was college choir, Gustavus choir. We had like a something we were singing for, and our stage time was like 7 a.m. So we had I still remember who did it. It was Amy Hiscock. She was one of the sopranos. She made us do calisthenics from like 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. Just to like run around and get our bodies moving so we could do like our time on stage in a couple hours. But it really, getting up early, getting the blood flowing, moving, setting intention for your day. These are all wonderful changes, especially if you're not used to that, like starting the day with the sun. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then getting into these new realms of music and singing and putting those pieces together in my brain has been, really a healthy motivation and accomplishment for me and rewiring, like, the connections in my head in such a fun way, such a creative way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and for everybody here, or who is watching the replay, we do actually get a lot of replays on these, which is great. If you would like to join us in this challenge, and we do hope you do want to join us, you can go to that QR code, the How Can I Keep From Singing challenge on nas.io, or if you are more URL oriented, it's nas.io/keep singing. Don't I guess I almost messed up the N and the G. Keep sinning. No,
Forward
that's not
slash.
it. Yeah, is that a forward slash?
Yes.
I don't even know. Is it? It's some slash. I'm not slashy oriented. I like to click on things and do QR codes. So whatever kind of slash that is, that's the right one. It'll get you to the website.
Laban
And
slash forward slash.
yeah, I don't. There is a slash. We're slashing
Fruit
slash, right?
ninjas.
Laban. We've got fruit ninjas. Yeah. All right. So many inside jokes that you can catch up on if you go to. I have it on YouTube. I have it on X. I have it on LinkedIn. I have it on Twitch. You can go to any of these places. Facebook. You can go to any of these places or whatever platform you're watching now. Every single episode of this challenge is there for you for free because we just want to bring the content. And if you join this challenge, it's also free. or as low as free, because in the nas.io community, I have it set to pay what you want. So you could pay $0, which is totally fine. Legit, you're bringing the value. You could pay $5,000 or $5 million for this challenge. I don't know, maybe it's worth it to you. Which you're welcome to do that.
You're totally worth it,
You're
Dan.
Aw,
Keep
thanks.
me coming back every morning this early to keep me singing and cracking my vocal cords on live streams. Like that's,
You
that's
know,
all your credit.
in
Well,
retrospect, that is a big ask, isn't it? Like, and if I would have asked you to do that, you would have probably said, "You're crazy."
yeah.
Um, but you decided to do it. You showed up on that first day. I sent a call to action at the end. Was like, if anyone ever wants to join me in the studio, you can come in. You came in on that second day, and it's been so cool getting to know you, getting to see how your voice is developing, how you think about singing is developing, and then how you had a performance this last weekend, didn't you? Can you talk about that a little bit? 'Cause that
Yeah.
was cool.
That's right, because, I had to walk off the challenge from completion from the first song choice, which was, Fears for Tears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Tears for Fears.
Cheers for fear. Yeah, I was gonna let it slide, but yeah, I mean, it's,
Um,
it's like a spoonerism, a really interesting spoonerism, because it's this. Anyway, go ahead.
anyway, yes. Then I was prompted by Dan here to, make sure now you go sing that at karaoke. So of course the pressure was on. I had to deliver. And then I think I was one of the first performances of the night, which
You
was
were
cool with me. But at this point, I'm fearless. And I went and did
fearless for fearless. You just that's a t-shirt too. Write that one down. Yeah, well, it was so good. I mean, I even told you, like, I'm gonna try as hard as I can to make it, but we're trying to keep weekends as family time. I just happened to have to go pick up Maria from her trip, and I was like, all right, I'm sitting in a parking lot. I'm gonna tune into karaoke, and then the pressure's on.
you
like,
really brought
hey, I showed up. I'd love to hear you sing.
that pressure.
Yeah. A little healthy pressure, and this is all about low stakes practice, and so hearing you sing that, I gotta say, I don't even know if you knew, but I had left the car. I ran into Dollar Tree to get like a water, and I didn't have you on speaker, but I was listening to you sing like in the aisles of Dollar Tree. I'm like, it was so sublime.
Wow.
Another good band, but I just people were kind of starting to watch me, like, because I was like smiling and clapping and like fist pumping and stuff. And they're like, what is this? So yeah, you're Dollar Tree famous. Just want to say.
I love that. I have a Dollar Tree store down the road. Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it felt really good. I got some good feedback that somebody my co-host Styles said that he could sense that I was smiling during that,
Mhm.
and he was
Let's hear it.
absolutely right. Yeah, I felt, all the pieces of everything that I've been learning came together for me in that moment, so I was really satisfied, and so that made me smile and really I got into it a lot more at that peak, and felt very at ease.
That's awesome. That is just truly awesome. Well, I know we could talk about success all day long, because I think you have had a very successful trajectory so far. But we're gonna keep moving on this challenge. And here's what we have for today. Yesterday we started in our 2-hour episode. We started working more in Bandlab, and so we reviewed like everything we've done. We reviewed all the Bartinia fundamentals. We reviewed some Laban and how we're using these 8 different efforts. Let me just throw those on the screen while I'm kind of setting up the Bandlab. But we're using these 8 different efforts to help us investigate what is the emotional content of the song. How does the way we move our body sometimes maybe imply objectively some emotions, and we're talking about the very critical rule or norm, I guess, not a rule, but a norm that we have when we're doing this Laban work, that we can notice things, we can observe things, and we can investigate things, but it's best to not come up with conclusions, because that's not what the work is about. This work is all about just the investigation, the asking of I wonder, and then observing what comes out of that. So when we are meeting people in life, there's a lot of communication that's already going on non-verbally. There's tons and tons of studies on this, and I'm planning to start linking some of those within our community on nas.io. But one of the biggest pieces is that we're saying something to people as soon as we see them, or as soon as we are in their presence. Because I'm also a special education teacher. I'm aware that not everybody sees visually, but I'm talking about like we see, we're observing, we're connecting in very nonverbal ways, whether we're feeling somebody's energy or we're hearing them or we're seeing them, whatever that modality is, we're connected. There is that connection. And so when we are observing the connection in somebody else, that's where it just gets not as effective to make conclusions. So for example, you see somebody and they're just going like this. You don't know what that means, but if you try a little hint of that, like, okay, I see their mouth is kind of spread wide and they have a little bit of a frown on their rib cage is caved in, and you kind of try that movement out and see what it feels like. It gives you some things to wonder, and like, I wonder if you're feeling this way because of this, but causality is very personal. So you can say, I know, or I think, I wonder if I'm feeling this way because of this. But about somebody else, it's really important not to make those conclusions. I don't think we talked about that. That's why I went on a little soapbox moment, because it's really important to take these efforts in here. Let me cast these up just so we can look at them.
To make those emotional distinctions from the physical to the
Exactly. The physical to the emotional.
emotional. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so, the physical, that's what the first half of this challenge was. It was all, like, how can we really get in tune with the sequences of our body, especially as singers, making all these connections where we've got the amoeba, just inner outer, it's breath, and then we have the core distal with the starfish, and we have the mouthing and the snake with head tail connection, and then we have the body halves where we're like butterfly or frog, upper lower, and then there's this plane along our midline. So we have all these different connections, and that's that's the physical that you were just mentioning, and then we have the emotional content behind these. So for example, like the punch and the press and the slash, this is the fruit ninja, right? The ring, the dab, the glide, the flick, and the float. We have all of these different movement qualities that have weight, space, time, and flow profiles to them. And so that, we're going to use this visual for the rest of the challenge, because I think it's just a really good way to say, what are some other options? Because if you're making a choice, and this is talking more in acting, but if you're making a choice and you know what your objective is, the actions to get that objective, what the barriers might be to it, what somebody else's thoughts around it might be, we can do all of that. But just knowing that right off the bat, if we are not feeling connected in that moment, and we're thinking of ourselves as singers in a character. So who is writing this song? Who is singing this song? It's not you. It's a character, because somebody else wrote the song, right? So say like Katy Perry's Firework. Well, this is Katy Perry in this moment talking about the epicness of life and how we can always be, big like a firework, and go bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's that emotion of expansiveness and of beyond and all of these different things. And so we're getting into that character. I wonder what it feels like if I'm thinking of like the idea of a firework. So just since that randomly came to my head. Let's chase that squirrel for a second. A firework. So using what you've learned, Mrs. Pixel, in Laban, just this terminology, how would you describe a firework? What would it be? A punch, press, slash, ring, dab, glide, flick, or float? A firework. And you can even say it, firework.
Like, yeah, slash. It's like
firework. Yeah. Firework. Yeah. So we're looking at the actual semantics of it. And then we're also looking at that emotion behind it, so we're mixing, and linguistics. We're mixing linguistics, semantics, and emotions, where we're going deep on that meaning. So a little bit more like, so a slash is going to be heavy, indirect, quick, and bound. I can, like if you think of the of a firework, does that still, just thinking of that emotional response, does that still feel like a slash, or would that be something else?
I mean, it could be. Well, I mean,
trust your gut. What were we going to say?
Flick, but not. That's more powerful than that.
Well, that's a flick. That
like initially, and then it kind of, yeah,
and into a glide, right?
Indirect, and yeah.
So and the great thing is none of these are wrong answers.
Right.
I'm not gonna be like, no, a firework is obviously this. No, it's what is it to you? What is it to you? What is your perspective? Right. So that is where this work is. All right. So we're saying all that just to say, I'm going to go ahead and share what's on your screen. Is it still on your screen? I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get back into Bandlab. And I did just send everybody in our challenge on nas.io / keep singing. I sent out a little message to everybody, just giving the Bandlab code to join us in this class. So the only way to get that code is to join the nas.io community. I'm not using this as like a funnel strategy. Maybe I am, I don't know, but I'm using it more cybersecurity strategy, because I don't want to just put codes to classrooms in the great unknown. We got to have that first layer of trust where we're saying like, all right, welcome to the community. So this is our Bandlab, and you'll notice that the only class that Mrs. Pixel is in is our own on Bandlab. So if you go ahead and click into that classroom, please, Mrs. Pixel.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this first assignment. If you look just above the first assignment where you see the waveform and everything, that is a link to a YouTube page that has a lot of resources on how to use Bandlab. I would say if you want a deep dive on becoming a laptop producer, go for it, because that's one of the great bonuses of being in this community. Free community, by the way, free Bandlab classroom, Bandlab rules. But the bonus is I'm not going to close the classroom. You get to just kind of have a place to create music, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you go ahead and click, I think on your side it says like start assignment, something like that. But you want to click into that first assignment. Oh, open in studio. If you go to open in studio.
Okay.
Then it's going to open up. This is just a track I put in. Shout out Marcy, who is in our community, and also in the other person in this Bandlab class. She endured an entire 3-hour seminar that I did on singing. And it was kind of the first, like, how can I keep from singing experiment. And this is, if you are interested in the hymn, this is an accompaniment that's on there. If you want to go ahead and just play that, so we can hear a little bit. Actually, it's a good audio check too. Just hit spacebar. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I'm singing.
Ethereal.
Yeah. So go ahead and I think hit mute on that. I'm gonna hop in too so I can explain better, because it's hard for me to see the screen on the screen share, but I also have my own portal. So what I want you to do is just go ahead and mute that track, and then we have on my end. I just want to kind of review. Oh, right. Yep, that happens every time I jump into Bandlab. it like hijacks a little bit of my audio, but it's back. So what you're gonna do is what we did yesterday. That MP3 of Trials of a Pair. You're gonna just put that in. Now the fun part in this version of it, Mrs. Pixel, that I was explaining to before, is remember how yesterday we changed the words? You're gonna
Yeah.
have to just like sing with conviction over the top of this person that is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
More challenges.
More challenges. You got this. So what we're doing is a little scaffolding trick, because we want to start making an arrangement of this for Mrs. Pixel to sing. This is a song that was well, you tell about the song. Your song.
Yes, this is the song that we have published on major music platforms for 69 cents called
Woo.
Trials of a Pair. It's in the key of blues, and it's uh, our very own
So
song that we
there it is,
launched,
right there again. Just yeah.
with for our pair community, which is our meme coin on Solana, and we had this available ready to go pre-launch. And, it is also part of a rev share program for our NFT holders. So we do love this song, and we see it as very worthy of greatness.
Absolutely.
We're all very attached to it, and, we play it often. It's
Yeah.
made
Well,
with AI as well. We did produce it on Suno.
and yeah, that's just it. Like, so we are going to play with it, and that's one of the invitations I think, in the low stakes practice viewpoints we can have about doing work with AI, because all we're doing at the end of the day is we're making a cover of this song. So it's a pretty standard procedure in music. If there's a song you like, you want to learn to play it, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to use Bandlab for that tool. And we're going to do it in two different ways. So today we're going to focus on just dropping it in. I like to call, like, I got to come up with a better name for it, but it's I'm calling this so far the bait and switch. So we are putting in the MP3 of that was just put into Bandlab, what the track is that was bought online. So I actually bought the track myself online, and then we
Yeah.
shifted the key. Yeah, absolutely. We support each other.
Yeah.
So we changed the key from E minor, which is what we determined it was in, down to G minor. And so that we're going to just kind of remind you of how to do that. And actually, Mrs. Pixel hasn't gotten to do this yet, but this is just review in case you want something in a different key. You need to take that agency and authority as a singer, saying like, I'm not going to sing in a key that is not optimized for my voice. That's where you can have a diva moment. And of course, we want to stretch ourselves and kind of build up that ability to sing in different keys. But if we're just starting out and we're just singing for karaoke and there's karaoke coming up, let's shift that key and be like, hey, I brought my own track. You'll be the cool kid at karaoke. So if you can go ahead and you got the how can I keep from singing when muted, right? And Trials of a Pair, can we just hear that? Just and it already shifted. You'll notice it says in B minor at the top.
Life has a caring sweet, hanging on a
All
branch
right, you
in
can
heat.
pause. All right, so what it did, the song, like I said, is it's in E minor, so it should be life has a parent sweet, right in that key, but it already shifted it up to life. Look next to where it says so. On next to that it says 4/4, and then next to that it says B minor. Go ahead and click on that B minor, and then you're going to just select the letter G. We did this a few days ago. We determined that G minor is going to be the key that is best for Mrs. Pear. Mrs. Pear. I did it again. Mrs. Pixel, Mrs. Pear, whatever. And then make sure that you've got your choice of major or minor. We know that this song is in G minor. If you if you're in the community or the challenge and have questions about this music theory piece, it's kind of what I have a couple degrees in, So ask questions. I would love to help you find the right key for you. So we're going for G minor. And then as soon as you click off of it, it's going to ask you adjust audio. You say adjust. and it is going to adjust just the pitch, and it's going to put it in G minor. And we found out yesterday it's going to sound really funny. So now we're going into this key. Life as a pair ain't sweet. But go ahead and play it.
Life as a pair ain't sweet. Hanging on a branch.
You sound so husky. All right, yeah. So this is why we are doing the bait and switch. So we change it into the right key first. That's step number one. Now we're going to have Mrs. Pixel sing to the track, and we're just I like to think of this as a slop through. It's really just to solidify the timing and the right key with your voice. So you do that work to find out, it's checkpoint 2 in the challenge. Find your key. And so now, we have this G minor, and then she's going to sing the whole song to it into Bandlab. And then we're going to take out the track. We're going to mute it and we're going to rebuild it. So that's the fun part. All right. So Mrs. Pixel, here's the part where you just get to, low stakes practice, do a slop through of as much of the song as you can. If you don't, I think you have most of the lyrics, right?
I'm pulling those up.
Yeah. And I have the new ones here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Let me write these. This is what we changed verse 1 to just yesterday. I'll put them in the chat, and then I don't know if you still have them too, but just so you can see them nice and strong and clear, because we decided we're going to take care of one of these AI isms where they like to split infinitives and they like to put adjectives at the end of sentences to favor the rhyme. So it didn't sound very natural. And so this is where, we're taking that proof of human and we're saying, all right, we want to connect at this level. We love this song so much. We're just going to collaborate and partner with the development of this song and take the writing credit. Write a word, get a third. That's what it is in the industry, right? So life as a pair ain't sweet. Hanging on a branch in heat, never know why the good life's passing by. So that's what we changed it to. And also, just to, while we're kind of getting set up for this, if you would like to join us in the studio and do something like this with us, more than welcome. Just send me a direct message on whatever platform you're watching this on. We'd love to have you in the studio. And you can also interact in chat, ask questions, tell us what song you're doing, because this is like live. So be here, ask questions. All right, Mrs. Pixel, are you ready to create a track and then just record a slop through?
Slop through. Key
Slop through.
there.
Low stakes. That's why, whatever happens, don't stop. This is not perfecting it. The only thing that really has to happen is we get some
a good
sound.
chunk.
We get some sound. Yeah. And we don't have to do the whole thing. So let's just go through just to, for the purpose of showing people, we don't need to do the whole song. First verse through the chorus so that we get all the parts of the song. So do you remember how to create? This is like this is assessment time. Do you remember how to create a track? Here, I'll stop sharing this because I'm hiding it on people. Oh, Mrs. Pixels. I don't know if I can resize things so that your name stops covering it. But on the bottom left, hint, hint, wink, wink. That's where you're going to find something that says, I think it says create track. Oh, no, it's at the top. Okay. Sorry, I was thinking Ableton. Add track.
Remember. Touche.
Fine. Add track. See, I failed too. Slop through. Low stakes. All right, so you're going to add a voice audio track. And then in the bottom left is where you can, I can see already the output level. So that's good. You have the monitor on. Always record it with headphones, everybody, because otherwise you don't want the track playing back through your microphone. So and that's even like try and have the volume as low as possible so it doesn't bleed through the microphone, and like having your headphone right here, that's going to record some of the track on the vocal, and then we won't be able to do the things we need to do in the bait and switch project. Just we want to end up with just the voice in the right key and at the right pacing. And just so everybody knows, anybody who's like, well, what about the algorithm? I'm not talking the X algorithm. I'm talking like the algorithm of sound. It's going to keep the timing. So it's a polyphonic algorithm. It keeps the same timing. And what sounds funny is the pitch. It made his voice sound really husky and like life as a parent. But it's
EDM remix.
Right key, right time. Yes, I love it. No, let's do some. I learned something yesterday in a something I did, industrial rock. That was like apparently industrial rock is what you call Marilyn Manson meets stomp. So that's industrial rock, I guess. All right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was interesting. Okay, so whenever you're ready, I'm going to mute my mic. Two things, we'll be able to keep going, and then it won't bleed through. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and then just record that first part. New lyrics I'll put back up so you can see him nice and big, and just sing right over him because he's going away. All right.
Life has a very sweet, hanging on a branching heat. Rolling with the season slow, feeling every wind that blows. Tree above it cast its shade, beneath the sky I slowly fade. In the garden, toil and strife, here's a tough old kind of life. Oh, the trials of our pair in the orchard's heavy air, destined for a basket cold, living stories left untold.
Can we stop there?
Yeah, so I was just thinking too, like this is going to be a slop through in many ways because I'm pretty sure this will work right. But one of the things I was thinking is that Bandlab will default to 120 BPM, 120 beats per minute. If you look in the upper left, that's in that upper left region. That's going to be where we get the metronome that we can turn on and off. Go ahead and click the metronome on. Yeah, and then mute both tracks because it's going to sound ridiculous because it's going to be going in like a different time. Just mute both tracks for a second. And so you can actually, if you're, we need to figure out what BPM this song actually is. So yeah, so you can, leave your voice on and go ahead and hit play. Space bar. Oh, did it? Sounds like it may have recorded the track too on it. Maybe it was like headphone bleed or not quite sure what happened there. But that's fine. I mean, so this is the process. This is why we do this. So you had headphones on, right?
Yes.
Okay, and so it may have used like a virtual mixer, which we'll look under the hood and figure out what happened. But essentially, what you want to do is sing with the track, and just make sure you're not, like when we played back, we saw that there was bleed through, so we have to go back and fix that. But just for the sake of moving on, pretend that's not there. We do have to figure out what tempo this is. So if you could just go ahead and hit play. The space bar, and then turn on the metronome in the upper left. If you, I think if you go one more button over, and then that should be the on off. If over to the left, like the picture of the metronome. Yeah. So now it should play like the beep boop boop boop. And just go ahead and check that. Hit space bar. Yeah. So now we wanna line up our beeps and boops. So you can kind of hear it's off.
Life as a parent sweet,
You got a nice recording though of your voice, so that sounds really good. We just have to do it in a way that we get the track out of there. We can do that later. But now let's just demonstrate finding that tempo. So you see where it says 120 beats per minute? You're gonna drag that down, or yeah, if you open up that, I think you're gonna drag it down or to the left. Exactly. Yep, you're going down to just try something. Try things like 104. 108 and 112. A lot of times, especially for things that's AI generated or from the music, things that are a whole number. They're not going to be like 104.76397. So look for just try it, and you want that beep boop 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 is how it sounds. That beep, that high tone is going to be beat 1. So we want beat 1 to be on the word life, like 1, 2, 3, 4, life. That's on beat 1. So we want the beep, the high beep, to be on the word life, and then we want it to be in time. So like life as a pair. We want life and pair to line up on beeps. That's going to give us the cue that, okay, we found our BPM. So we're not that far away. Let's just play around a little. Go for it.
Life as a parent tree, hanging on.
Oh, okay, hang on. So I wasn't watching. Did it have a little dialogue box that said adjust, like yes or no?
Yes.
It did. Okay. So sorry, I didn't warn you. Just see if you can hit undo, because with this we don't want it to adjust. We want it to change the metronome, but we don't want it to change your voice. Did you hear how your voice kind of slowed down? So non-examples are powerful too, right? So when we're talking about like finding the right pitch, we want to definitely adjust the audio. Because that's something we're doing to the track. We know it's going to make it sound kind of gross. But with what you're doing, as long as we're happy with the BPM, what you recorded, we want to maintain just that same duration, the same BPM. We're just trying to match the number to have those beats line up. Okay. All right. So I think, did it let you undo it? Let's check. Don't adjust. All right.
Life as a parent tree.
Yeah, okay. So we're gonna have to play. So now this is and remember, this is low stakes. So do you think we have to go faster or slower to make them match? On like beat 1 is gonna be life as a pair.
Slower.
Slower. Okay, give it a try and then see if were you right? Yes or no. This is a very scientific approach. Don't adjust. Okay, so now you went down 6 more BPM. And yeah, I love how you're just cutting to the chase. So you're already intuiting a great workflow.
Life as a parent tree.
That's close. Yeah.
Okay,
let's try again. I would say shave it a little. Well, no, I'm not going to tell you things. What do you think? Faster or slower?
Slower.
I think just a little bit slower. And that's where a little bit might be 96, a lot of times things won't be at an odd number BPM, but it might be because it's AI. I don't know what it did.
Right. Life as a parent tree, hanging on a branch in heat.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we still need to go slower. Now let's make a big leap. Let's go down to 86 and see if we went too far, like way too far. Because we want, again, we're trying to do life as a pair.
Life as a parent tree, hanging on.
Now that seems a little too slow, right? So now we're going to find that Goldilocks. Let's try 90. See what happens. And you see how the wave.
Life as a parent tree, hanging on a branch in heat. Never know why.
Yeah, I think we're actually too slow. We're almost down to the subdivision. Let me just try something for a sec. I have an app on my phone called Pulse, which is a really cool because you know, the original is life as a parent sweet. We want to find about that. So I think we're kind of going way too slow. Let's try go back up to like 112. You see how it kind of messes with your brain a little bit?
My
Um,
brain's fried.
yeah, but that's where we just go back to what was that original, and it's like what da 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 2, 3, 4. So now I'm gonna try and find the BPM just using pulse. See, like this is like 100, and all I have to do is uh, life as. So now I can just shave that up a little bit. This is like the shortcut. About 102. Let's try it between 102, 104. Let's try 104. As a pairing. Might even be a little. That's too fast. That's 10. That's 108. Yeah, try 104. See what it does.
Life as a parent sweet, hanging
Yeah,
on
that's
a branch.
life as a parent. I think let's try 108 and
I
then
did
just
a little shift and while I was singing too, I was having a hard like, I kinda
okay. Yeah.
slowed down too
Maybe yeah,
much and
let's
sort of the vocals wasn't on, you know, so
right. Let's that's a good point. Since you know, we're not just working with your voice anyway, go ahead and mute yourself and then turn back on the track and let's work with the track. And go ahead and hit play. Yeah, it's pretty close. There's one more thing we have to do. So we have to make sure can you zoom in a little bit? And again, this is a very technical moment, but this is important stuff. So good. Yeah, zoom in. And we want to line up the word life. So can you go down and in the wave form find the word life? You might just have to like listen a little bit. Yep, probably right around there.
Life.
Yeah, and we're almost there. So if you can zoom in a little bit more even, you're going to drag the track so that the life of life is right on that pulse. Life, because that's going to you know, we might find the right BPM, but if we're a little bit off the beat on the initiation, remember every note has a beginning, a middle, and an end. We have the attack, the sustain, and the decay. So we want to be right on that life where the vowel starts. Life right on the beat. So let's hear it.
Life.
Yeah, I think you're there. That's arguably at least close enough. Yep. And now let's go ahead and see what 108 sounds like. It might be 112.
Life as a parent sweet, hanging
Yeah,
on a branch.
I think let's try 112. You see how this taking a lot of trial and error. That's what you have to do.
trials of a pair.
Or you know, AI programmers and you know, just programmers in general make an app or tell us about an app that just detects a BPM. There probably is one. That would be cool. But I love doing the more visceral approach because it's good ear training for listening to that beat, finding the timing, thinking through mathematically, like, do I adjust the pitch? Do I adjust the time? So you know, even though it feels a little messy in the slop through, it should. We're learning, right? And we're learning together. So let's hear it.
Life as a parent sweet,
Yeah, I think
hanging
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Let's go. Do you hear it like it kind of locked in?
Yep.
I think we can fairly safely call 112 our tempo. Now, I want you to go, and this is just the end of this process. This was the hard part, finding the BPM. I want you to line up your singing back with that the track so that
Mhm.
your word life and is on the beat. You're like already pro at digital audio workstations too.
Wow.
Like, what's up with this? um, and here's life as a parent sweet. Yeah. because the word sweet doesn't even come right on the beat. It's like on the and of 4. That's perfect. All right, so now are you lined up? Go ahead and unmute yourself, and you can remute, or no, just play both of them. Play both of them for now, so we can hear. See how they're a little off. Scoot yourself a little bit to the left. You might have to take off the. Yeah, that's fine. Because remember, like when we record it in a way that it's just your voice, you'll have plenty of lead time.
Okay.
Yeah, to hear how they're a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
I think let's call that good enough for now. So I want you to go ahead and mute yourself just for now, and then let's go over to on the bottom where it says you see lyrics and notes, and then Bandlab search. There should be something that says loops. Do you see that? Here, let me look in Bandlab. I can tell you exactly where it is. You have lyrics and notes, and then Bandlab sounds. They changed the title. Come on, Bandlab. Click on Bandlab sounds, and then go up to it. Defaults to packs probably. Go over to loops. And here, let me look at your screen now. Click. Do you see on the right? They did change the interface a little. I like it better. You see on the right they have that little filter button. Okay, so perfect. So go ahead and you see those numbers after those instruments and right now I think it's filtering the instruments. Find a drum beat. Just go up to beat. At the top, beats. Yeah. So that number next to them is how many beats you have to pick from. So now you have it filtered to I'm looking for just beats. Now type in the search bar blues. Because now you'll find beats that are good for a blues. And when you drag one of those sounds in Bandlab, it will just snap to your session BPM. That's why we did that hard work of finding the BPM and lining up the track within that beat structure. Now you can just drag and drop and play around. So you find something, just anything. You can do anything you want. Now this is what the power really is, where ideally we would have just your voice in the right tempo and in the right pitch level. But let's just see what happens. Let's see how this sounds. It's probably going to sound fairly awful because it's going to clash with the song. But let's hear it. Remix time. Okay, so now do you see on the top you have that little loop? If you drag something over on the top, it will keep looping it. The top handle of your beat that you just put in, there's like a little loop. Yeah, grab towards the top, it'll keep looping it in the tempo. The bottom, if you grab one of the regions, sorry, vocab, one of the regions from the bottom, that's a trim tool. So you can just trim part of that beat off. And that's that's just the general way a lot of DAWs work is you'll loop it by grabbing the top of it, and you'll trim it by grabbing the bottom. So go ahead and let's just hear what it sounds like. Put just your voice on and take out the track, the original track. Let's hear what this like EDM jazz sounds like.
Potential viral moment.
Viral moment. Here we go. Okay, that's very special. A lot of things going on there. So go ahead and turn on the metronome off. Now that we're pretty satisfied with the 112. Obviously, things we can clean up. And this is homework now. This is the first time I've ever given you homework. I would see if you can play around with the settings and just record it so just your voice is coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll set us up for making an arrangement of this. So now, last step is just go back to your Bandlab sounds. And isn't this a trip? Like, how much is available here? This is free.
Yeah.
Free 99. Yeah. So now you've got loops and we take off the filters. Go into your little filter button, take those off. Yeah, click on it and just say clear all. So now go to the search bar and just hit G minor. I think there's a way you can filter it too. I just don't know where that is. So we'll do the it's like the poor man's filter. And pick one of those, something in G minor, whatever. Do the bass. Let's pick a
Yeah.
bass.
Yeah.
Well,
I do.
and we should totally filter out like EDM. You should make an EDM remix of this.
Totally should.
All right, I'm excited to hear what this sounds like. See, that's just outlining a G minor chord.
Life as a parent tree, hanging on.
All right, yeah. That's and so then we're like, oh, no more of that.
That was like Primus.
That was yeah. But so now let's if you do G minor and then go back over to your filters and let's put a guitar loop in, just for kicks and grins. So you can delete that or just mute it. Maybe you like it. It's okay. I won't judge. So let's go guitar and then yeah, there you go. There's your other filters. The genre, let's go blues and then BPM. Let's get something close. Yeah, so just mind your filters. And let's pick something for each of these filters. The genre, rock. Let's go rock. That's fine. And then character. That's going to be the flavor of it. Let's go chill.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it a chill song. And then BPM, let's try and get something around 112. Yeah, so you can go up to like do 110 to 120. And what that's going to do is if there's something at like BPM 70, if you're just dropping it over, it's going to have to make up a whole heck of a lot of things if you're pulling something slower. And then if you're making it faster, it's going to cut information, which is fine. Like it's based on the transients or like that attack of a note. So if you rule of thumb in general is that if you're making something speed up from the BPM it's at, that's going to be okay. It's going to sound like things are missing, but it's not hallucinating and making up information. If you want to pull something slower, it's going to sound all artifacty and gross. So don't do that, does that make sense? It's just like, a bit rate. If you have more information, you can get rid of some, but you can't make it up. And dither.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, go between even you could do 100 to 120. That should be an okay range.
Mm-hmm. Good
But
range.
ideally maybe you want to go 112 to 120 because then that's kind of what I was just talking about. I don't even apply it myself. But let's see what choices you have. No samples found. All right, we over filtered it. So take off one of those filters. Let's do you still have something in the search bar? No. It's probably the BPM we made too small. So since yeah, just anything that's going to be like 112 or under should be fine. Because remember, that's going to speed it up. It's going to cut out information to make it up to our 112. And let's see. Yeah, hit apply. Bandlab, if you're watching, we love you.
Rock.
You rock. All right, so you got a few. Now it's really giving you a few choices. I would just say pick one of those because we're gonna try adding a guitar loop. Let's take that bass out. Go ahead and mute that one because that was raucous. But hopefully this will give us kind of a nice flavor to go for in our arrangement. You don't have to learn how to play guitar. It's all good. All right, let's hear what it sounds like. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So it had enough space in there, with the, because we already talked about like you're in doing that recording of you with the track, there was a little adjusting that you did. So here's the last step, and then we're going to cut it. you build an arrangement that you like, and then you re-sing the song with your arrangement, right? So you're going to be able to compare it to the things that are in the track. You could turn your original track on and off and say like, all right, here's about what the harmonic rhythm is, and you don't even have to know all the words for it, but you can feel it through
Yeah.
trial and error of just like, that sounds good, that sucks, that wasn't good. And so now you can really the process, just to review, I know we got a few more people that came in, which is great. The process is we're going to put in this MP3 that we paid for, and we're making our own arrangement, right? We drop it into Bandlab, and then we sing to it. We record the voice, just voice alone, and then we rearrange it around that voice. And we can, we have the voice already in the right key. We lowered the key from E minor to G minor, so we're favoring our voice that way. And then we kept the same rhythm so that we are just, we're in the same vibe of the original song, but we can make our own arrangement now in a way that highlights our voice and our sensibilities and our flavor of music. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's where we're gonna end today,
In a
because
way that will melt time and space too, because this is fun.
isn't it? Like, once you really get into it. And so again, just a review of the other tools for BPM. I have this app that is called Pulse. And I just, that's how we kind of quickly found that this is about 112. And that's trial and error as well. You can also, here's a challenge. Go create a program that you put in an MP3 and it tells you the BPM. Probably already exists. But we're trying to showcase resources that are free, to be able to, at any level, change and modify a karaoke track to make it our own. And of course, we're operating with the assumption that we're all making good choices in buying things legally, and we're making an arrangement. This is all. I wanted to make sure to say this at the end. This is all under fair use. The things that we're doing, this is for educational purposes. This is to have fun, to connect with people. That's what karaoke is for, right? And if you think of like the YouTube licensing, a lot of verbiage in that YouTube blanket license is that this is amateur, for just connecting with people for educational purposes. Once you start monetizing, this is the important thing to understand about intellectual property law. There's finer points, of course, but rule of thumb is, if you're starting to make money on something, then that starts a whole different conversation with performing rights organizations like ASCAP and BMI. And then if we're in Web3, what does that look like with a smart contract and other people's intellectual property? We at the end of the day, none of us wants to receive a cease and desist letter, right? So music responsibly, please. And that's where we're going to call it for today. We will see you back tomorrow, where we'll show a second way that you can get a very nice karaoke track, and that's using CapCut, which I'm not as familiar with, but Mrs. Pixel is, and pretty much anybody in like middle school and on is familiar with CapCut at this point, except me. So I'm excited to hear about how you did that, and she actually has already done that work. So that's going to be the quick version of what we just did. Super simple. Yeah. Mine was like the complex Dan Roeder style of work, where we're like going at the atomic level. And what did I call it? I called it the bait and switch. Like you put the karaoke track in, or the original track in, you sing to it, record your voice, take that track out and rearrange it. That's like the bait and switch technique. Both are legit, as long as you're starting with that musicking responsibly. So with that, thank you all for watching and for on the replay. You can join us right here in this challenge. We're on day 19 of 30. This could be your day 1. Just saying that you can join us here, and it is free 99 is what we call it. It's free. So that is you can go to nas.io, keep singing. Can we get a final word from Jason? Like, what is, or from anybody? What is this a backslash or a forward slash?
Forward.
It's a four. This is a four.
Anytime there's an address,
NASA.io. That's a
forward.
four. I've been backwards my whole life.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I always thought it was https://
This is
but
a
it's
moment for
HTT.
you.
This is a moment. My brain is broken.
Good, 'cause you broke my
HTTPS.
brain, so this is karma. Snap
It's
back at you.
snap, crackle, pop. Here we go. I don't know what that was, but Bandlab excites me to no end, apparently. But I was saying that you can join us here in this challenge for the How Can I Keep from Singing challenge, and would love to have you either using your / capabilities nas.io / keep singing
/
/ fruit ninja. No, don't do. I don't. That's probably gonna be weird.
You
And
do.
then How Can I Keep from Singing challenge with the QR code. 2 different ways, same community. We also have a community of the same name on X. I'm actually thinking about opening up one on Facebook as well. And so we can get all the people in our How Can I Keep from Singing challenge. The whole playlist is actually also available as we go. I'm adding to the playlist on YouTube. And so we just want everybody to have access to some information and some low stakes practice involving our whole body in singing. So until next time, keep singing and make a beautiful rest of your day. Any parting thoughts, Mrs. Pixel?
This has been a great trial by pair episode.
Trial by pair. Did you? Oh my gosh.
Just gonna let that marinate.